the strength of our belief is critical. Why? Because it has a direct impact on how we live our life. 2 Timothy chapter 1, as we turn there quickly, we find here this well-known statement from the Apostle Paul in 2 Timothy chapter 1, where he comments to us, he comments the relationship of his convincibility. I think that's a word, isn't it? Convincibility? I don't know if it's a word, but it sounds right. The degree to which he was convinced, to the effect that convincibility had on his, reaction to it. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 12. For this reason, I suffer these things. For what reason, Paul? Nevertheless, I am not ashamed. I know. I know what, young people? I know whom I have believed. And because I know who I have believed, what? I am persuaded, I'm convinced that he is able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day. Okay, exercise. If I were to ask the question, young people, how many of you here this morning believe that Jesus may very well come in your generation? We raise our hands, right? Okay, very well. You know what you're saying when you raise your hand? All you're saying is that you're at least 51% sure that it's true. That's all you're saying. Okay? 50-50 would be a state of indecision, right? You're not yet decided. You're still in the valley of decision. The minute you get to 51% sure, you've crossed the halfway line, and now you can say confidently, I believe Jesus is coming back in my generation. All you're saying for all practical purposes is that you are at least 51% convinced that that's true. Check this out. From 0 to 100 on this little line, the closer we get to 100, the more intense that belief becomes, and the more directly it affects the way we live our lives. When you consider the lives of people who went through starvation and torture and imprisonment, separated from their families, all for the sake of what they believed, I think that we are compelled to conclude that these people's belief were close to 100, yeah? They were people don't get tortured for their beliefs at 51%. I sure wouldn't. Amen? My wife tells me that eggplant is good for me, yeah? Now, frankly, I've not studied it myself. So I'm at around 50, maybe 52%, yeah? I don't know that I would die for eggplant is good for me. You follow what I'm saying? There's a list of things that we claim to believe. Man, I just wonder sometimes, what are we saying when we say that? Jesus is coming back in our generation. Where are you, young people? 59 maybe? Okay, 65. 67? Where are you? If you are sincere and you ask yourself that question with sincerity, it would lead you to some serious soul searching, as it has done to me. Where are we, young and young at heart, when we say these things? We believe that in 1844, Jesus entered into the most holy place of the sanctuary to conduct the final phase of his eternal ministry for lost humanity. We believe that. What are we saying by that? What do we mean by that? Giving a Bible study to a Catholic Sunday school teacher. Do you hear what I said? We're studying I met him at the door. Now we're at study number 26, 27 or so. And I'm getting ready, and I get to his house, and I'm coming to his home to give him a Bible study on Jesus as the high priest in heaven, in his final phase, and I get my little piece of paper out, and I whip my pencil, and I'm in Daniel 8, Daniel 9, and I'm doing the little chart, and I'm doing the little arc of the timeline, doing a little math. I get to the end, and I'm watching his face. As I'm writing, I'm trying to gauge his reaction, and I do the little subtraction there, and I get to 1844 AD, and I look at his face, I turn the paper around, and I just watch him. And he goes, now I can't really do the effect, but his eyes get really big, and his eyebrows go really wide, and he looks at it as if an angel is standing right in front of him, and he says, "Are you serious? Why has no one told me this?" And I'm sitting there thinking, what's he so excited about? It's just 1844. Relax, dude. It's just 1844. Yeah. It's exciting, but it's not that exciting. He says, can you leave your notes with me? I says, yeah, why? He says, because this Sunday morning, I'm going to teach that to my Sunday school class. And I'm thinking, dude, it's just 1844. Rebuke to me. When I say I believe this stuff, young people, what am I actually saying? I'm just recommending as a suggestion that when these folks said that stuff, they really meant that stuff. They were actually saying what we sometimes intend to say. Depending on how close it gets to 100 will determine how strong it will impact our behavior and our life. The more certain you are of your belief, the more it becomes a part of your soul, and the more you rely on it as a basis of your life. Not only is the content important, and not only is the strength of a belief is important. Finally, this morning, the last point I'd like to make is that the centrality of our belief is the most important. Centrality, central. What do we mean by that? How central is a given belief in our overall system of beliefs? We alluded to previously that most of us here believe all kinds of stuff. Some of it is important, some of it is not as important. Some of it pertains to the future, some of it doesn't. In our system of belief, in this canvas, those beliefs that are in the nucleus, in the center, are the most critical beliefs, because our beliefs are like a web. It's like a net. It's all connected. And it all comes together in the center. So that the central beliefs are the most important, because if you mess with that, it messes up the chain, the net that affects every other belief. The farther out from the nucleus you get, the less impact that belief will have on your life. If you're with me, can you say amen? Amen. Okay. So, broccoli. The content. Broccoli is, what is it, calcium? Anybody know? What is it? Calcium, Broccoli, I don't even know, but broccoli is good for your health. It provides calcium and whatever other vitamins and minerals you want to throw in there, right? So, that's the content, I believe that. I know it's healthy for me. Not only do I know it's healthy for me, but I can pretty much tell you that I am very close to 100% convinced that it is healthy for me. 99% at least. Broccoli is good for my health. Are you with me, yes or no? But then when you get to the realm of centrality, I confess to you that in my system of beliefs, with the nucleus and the life-impacting beliefs in the center, broccoli would be somewhere out here. You with me? What do I mean by that? Well, if I woke up tomorrow morning and say, you know what? I'm mad at my mom and at my wife. This broccoli business, I'm through with it. Done. I no longer accept that broccoli is good for me. And I took that belief and I threw it in the trash. Here's the question, guys. The removal of that belief from my system of beliefs, how is that going to impact my daily life? Is that going to radically mess me up in my daily life, in my objectives, in my future plans, in ministry? Yes or no?